Hey everyone, I'm working to hit 1,000 subscribers and I need your help to get there. If you enjoy this content, please hit that subscribe button right now.
What if I told you the Blue Jays are about to pull the trigger on a trade that nobody saw coming? Stay with me because the dominoes are falling fast and one familiar face might be heading out the door sooner than you think. Look, the Kazuma Okamoto signing changed everything. I mean everything. And now we're seeing the ripple effects in real time. Ben Nicholson-Smith dropped a bomb yesterday that basically confirmed what we've all been thinking. Any further additions are going to require a corresponding trade. The math just doesn't work anymore with the outfield situation they've created. You've got bodies everywhere and not enough playing time to go around. So here's where it gets really interesting. Nathan Lukes. That name is starting to circulate in trade discussions, and it's not just random speculation anymore. There's actual smoke here. An MLB analyst recently predicted that the Giants could be a landing spot for a Blue Jays outfielder, and Lukes is right at the top of that list. Now, before anyone loses their mind, let me explain why this actually makes sense from multiple angles. The Giants desperately need outfield help. Yes, they have Young-Hoo Lee and Heliot Ramos, but they need more depth and quality. They've been mentioned as a potential destination for guys like Luis Robert and William Abreu, but those acquisitions would cost significantly more in terms of prospects and salary. Lukes represents a middle ground option. He's proven, he's affordable, and he just came off a stellar season where he showed up big time in the playoffs and World Series. Think about the Blue Jays roster construction right now. You've got Okamoto, who can play third base and potentially some outfield. You've got Addison Barger, who needs playing time and is projected to see action in the outfield now. Anthony Santander is locked into right field. Then you have Nathan Lukes, Dalton Varsho, Davis Schneider, and Joey Loperfido, all competing for at-bats. The playing time projections show Lukes in left field for about 55% of games, with Schneider taking 20%. That's not a full-time role for a guy who frankly deserves one after the season he just had. Here's the hard truth that nobody wants to hear. Lukes isn't getting any younger. Loperfido isn't getting any younger relative to prospect timelines. If you're going to maximize value and get something meaningful back, you have to make a move now. Not next month, not at the trade deadline, but now while teams are still actively building their rosters and Lukes' value is at its peak. Now let's talk about what a potential return could look like. Mike Petrillo, who's an insider and writer covering the Giants, confirmed they're actively looking for outfield help. So if the Blue Jays aren't necessarily looking for prospects, but rather major league-ready talent, things get interesting. What if they targeted someone like Joel Payamps from the Giants' bullpen? Stay with me here because I know that sounds random. Payamps had his first major league season last year and posted a 2.42 ERA. Limited sample size, sure, but the raw tools are undeniable. This guy throws 100 miles per hour. His fastball velocity is elite level, among the highest in baseball. Now, his other peripherals aren't perfect. He walks too many guys, and the strikeout rate isn't where you'd want it to be yet, but you're talking about a power arm with legitimate upside. For the Blue Jays, this would be a lottery ticket type of acquisition. You'd be betting on Pete Walker and the development staff to harness that velocity and turn it into consistent production. The bullpen already has some solid pieces with Emmanuel Clase, Jordan Romano when healthy, and Genesis Cabrera, but you need more high-leverage arms. Adding someone with Payamps' velocity profile gives you another weapon, especially if they can unlock something with his secondary pitches. From the Giants' perspective, you're getting an established outfielder who was genuinely excellent last season. Lukes provides exactly what they need, an experienced bat who can play every day and contribute immediately. The question becomes, is this fair value for both sides? That's genuinely tough to answer because Lukes' value is hard to pin down. He's a career fourth outfielder who broke out in a big way, but how much do you pay for that breakout? How confident are you it continues? I'm not sitting here saying they should definitely trade Nathan Lukes. That's not what this is about, but the reality is becoming unavoidable. If they add Kyle Tucker, and by the way, Tucker is still very much in play according to multiple reports, then someone absolutely has to go. You cannot carry that many outfielders on a 26-man roster and expect everyone to stay sharp with inconsistent playing time. Let's talk about Tucker for a second, because that's still the elephant in the room. The Blue Jays are reportedly still involved, still making calls, still exploring what it would take. If they land Tucker, your outfield suddenly looks completely different. Tucker in center, Santander in right, and then you're choosing between Varsho, Lucas, Barger, Loperfido, and Schneider for left field and bench roles. That's not sustainable. Someone with Lucas's talent level deserves to play every day somewhere, even if it's not in Toronto. The other factor people aren't talking about enough is the relationship the Blue Jays have quietly built with Scott Boras. Okamoto's agent is Boras, and he's going to be at the formal introduction on Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Now, that doesn't automatically mean they're signing another Boras client, but it shows they're willing to work with him and navigate those negotiations. That matters because Boras represents a huge chunk of the top-tier free agent market every single year. Building that rapport pays dividends long-term. Okamoto himself is officially listed as a third baseman by the Blue Jays, which tells you where he'll be playing most of his games. That shifts Barger to the outfield more frequently, which again reduces playing time for the current outfield group. Everything connects back to the same problem: too many bodies, not enough spots. Here's something wild to consider. According to TJ Stats, the Blue Jays are currently projected to have the second highest combined WR in baseball between pitching and hitting, 18.6 pitching WAR, 28.1 hitting WAR, for a combined 46.7. If they add Kyle Tucker, they could legitimately jump to number one. Think about how insane that turnaround is from where this team was just a few months ago, from disappointing season to projected powerhouse in one offseason. But none of that projection matters if they can't optimize the roster construction. You can't just stockpile talent without a plan for how everyone fits together. Playing time matters, development matters, trade value matters. And right now, all three of those factors are pointing toward making a move with one of the outfielders sooner rather than later. Look, Nathan Lucas had an incredible season. He showed up when it mattered most on the biggest stage. Trading him feels wrong on some level because you're moving a guy who just proved himself. But professional sports aren't sentimental. If moving Lucas allows you to add Tucker or another impact piece while also addressing the bullpen, you have to at least consider it seriously. The other names to watch are Joey Loperfido and Davis Schneider. Both could theoretically be moved, but neither has the same trade value Lucas carries right now. Schneider is viewed as a solid bench piece, which has value, but not the kind that brings back a meaningful return. Loperfido is younger and has upside, but he's also less proven. Lucas is the sweet spot of proven production and reasonable salary that makes him attractive to multiple teams. This is all happening fast. The Okamoto signing was just made official yesterday, with Pax Schultz being designated for assignment to clear the 40-man roster spot. Things are in motion. Front offices around the league are watching to see what the Blue Jays do next. If they're serious about contending in 2026 and all signs point to yes, then they need to be aggressive and strategic with these next moves. So what happens next? My guess is we see something materialize within the next couple of weeks. Whether it's Lucas to the Giants or another team entirely, someone from that outfield group is getting moved. The roster construction demands it. The playing time concerns demand it. And frankly, maximizing value while you can demands it. This isn't about giving up on players or admitting mistakes. It's about being smart with roster management and putting yourself in the best position to win. Let me know what you think. Would you pull the trigger on a Lucas trade if it meant adding another impact piece? Does moving him for a high-upside bullpen arm make sense? Or do you stand pat and figure out the playing time situation as the season goes? This is going to be fascinating to watch unfold, and I'll be here breaking it all down every step of the way.